Welcome back. This is Miss Faye, and this is my world. All right. Today's topic is white men are joining the DL culture. White men are joining the DL culture. Before we get started, I'd like to say welcome. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to all the new viewers, the new subscribers, and welcome to those of you who have been with me from the beginning. I really appreciate you. All right, now we have a letter, so let's dive right into this letter and see what she says. I had a DL marriage before it had a name. I came from an abusive household and jumped on board when, after 3 dates, a diamond ring came along. Well, you're excited. Who wouldn't? You're a young girl. Yeah. I was only 18 years old. My 3 children have paid the price. Well, you're not the only one because, that was the norm. Somebody pops up with a ring. Well, yeah, you get married because your objective is to be married, especially, young girls. I wasn't comfortable committing, but I'm as white as you get. So was my husband. Let these ladies know who think it's only black men that it is far from the truth. All right, so so she's saying that her husband was on the DL. So look, I pulled the little video, little short snippets. So let's look at this snippet, and then we're going to talk more about this DL epidemic and white men. Here we go.
Is it just me, or all of a sudden DL men are starting to come like really strong? You know what I mean? Like, I haven't had to deal with DL men since I was probably a teenager in like high school. You know what I mean? Like, but now in my grown age, like ever since I turned 25, they are shooting their shot. They're being bold as hell, and I'm just so confused. Especially with me, because I'm not like what you think a DL man would go for someone like like super feminine. You know what I mean? And like petite and like, clean shaved and like, oh, no, girls. But then I was talking to a friend and he was like, listen, a lot of the times they want to get gutted. Like, they want to get gutted. They want to be dominant. I'm like, oh my gosh.
This is for my ladies. If you see this app or hear this sound, trouble is knocking at your door.
All right, so now I was listening to something the other day where this man happened to be a white guy, and he was saying that now men are rethinking the whole dating process because it's so easy to get sex without taking a person on a date. All right, especially with the new apps out, these DL apps. And I really don't know what they are other than the one that name pops up all the time. This is Grinder or whatever. But anyway, this fellow was saying that he can go into neighborhoods that are nice, manicured lawns, beautiful homes, and these are working people from 40 to 60, maybe a little older or whatever in these homes. And when he cuts on the app lights up so many people in this area is on this app looking for a hookup. That's scary. And these are married men in these homes. These are not single men sitting up in these homes. These are men with families. These are white men with families. Now, this DL thing has been going through the black culture for a while. And I have heard some information on that they used to use that sodomy on slaves to break them in. They would sodomize them. So slaves could have been introduced to it that way. But I understand that this practice has been in the white culture forever. Now, I don't know if it's new to blacks since slavery or why it's, going through the black culture and why we're even talking about it. But I do know that in the Black culture, it's always been a stigma to come up gay. That's something that's kept kind of secret. Even if the family knew that they had a gay person in the family, I mean, he was there and everything, but nobody, put that much attention into it because they weren't as flamboyant as they are now. Now they just want to be out there. Then everything was kind of secretive. So even the DL man, he does not have the nerve consider himself as being gay. He still consider himself as being a heterosexual man, but he enjoys having sex with men. All right, now this man that I was telling you about, I know I kind of jumped over on the story, but I wanted to tell you what he said about men and going on dates. Men are beginning to feel like they take a woman on a date because they want sex. All right, ladies, don't fool yourself thinking that he's just taking you on a date because he wants to be in your company. And he does, but eventually he's looking for sex. All right, so he takes you out on a date. He spends a lot of money on you. He takes you on trips and all that. And he may have to do that for a while because I encourage you to not have sex with him. Don't do it. Don't have sex with him because that's his main objective. So now these same men, what they're doing, they'll hook up with a man. They don't have to take him on a date. They don't have to spend no money on him. They just go find a hole and stick it in. That's why. That's why. It's easy. Well, anything that's evil can be made easy. Easy to get in, but hell to get out of. You understand? So that's basically why a lot of them would get engaged in this activity, especially in today's world where media is presenting this epidemic like it's normal behavior. And it's okay behavior. I mean, you know what? Everybody's doing it. So, why sacrifice yourself if this is what you want to do? Just go and do it. You understand? But see, the DL man destroys his family with this. He destroys his family, other than the fact that I found that a lot of DL men are becoming very aggressive. Just like the guy said in the clip, they are going out trying to recruit other men. And that's not right. Or trying to seduce straight men. And that's recruiting. Because if you get a straight man to cross over, well, then he's going to, he tried it once, he's going to try it again until he likes it. And that he is in the culture. You understand? That's evil. That's pure evil. So this is a spirit. Any way you look at it. It is a evil spirit that's sweeping through all cultures. Yeah, it sweeps through economic conditions, culture, race. It's everywhere because it's an evil spirit. It's not generic to one culture. It's just that in the Black culture, I believe they are probably the ones that gave it the DL, the term, down low. But white men have been sleeping with white men since the beginning of time. Because even in your Bible, it talks about way back in Sodom and Gomorrah, what do you think they was doing over there? So it's the same thing. You understand? But what happened to them? They all got destroyed. So here we go again. Because man, instead of him using his gifts and his powers to bring good in the world, he wants to be competitive. He wants to be the boss. He wants to be on top. He wants to conquer people. So he uses evil practices to gain control. Now, like I told you, they use sodomy in the slave trade to break the big bulks down. They were sodomizing right in front of everybody. Understand, it was a way of busting them. And I hear, now this is hearsay, but I hear that in these fraternities, sororities, these secret organizations, they're kind of using the same thing. Because once you have been humiliated in this way, you don't want the world to know that this has happened to you. So it's a way of controlling you. So it's the ultimate control when they can perform some depraved sexual act on you and have evidence of it. That's nothing but control. So this secret of having sex with men has been used and abused because it's evil anyway. All right. So if they use it to control people, and then some people, they use it well, if they are demonic, they use it for supply. Depraved sex is supply at its fullest. Okay, because you're drawing that energy right out of that person, or put more energy into the person. This is according to which end you're on. So the DL culture has no color. It's through all the races. Most people think DL culture only belongs to the black man, but that's not true. White men are joining the DL lifestyle too. And here's why. First of all, DL culture is about secrecy. Men hiding same-sex attraction while living publicly as straight. And secrecy doesn't have a color. Some men like secrets. It's a thrill to have a secret. Your wife don't know. It's just put some spice in your life. White men face the same pressures: masculinity, religion, family expectations, and fear of losing status and respect. While dating apps and online hookups, it's easier than ever to hide. That's why more white men are stepping into the world quietly because of these dating apps. Dating apps. Okay. So, ladies, you'll find these DL men on apps with women too, because they need a cover. They're going to need a woman. So everybody doesn't suspect that they're sleeping with men. So now here you are. You got to navigate trying to find yourself a good, decent man with all these DL men out here. And predators. No. For some, it's about curiosity and thrill. For others, it's about survival in families or communities that still don't accept them. Well, if they on the DL, they don't accept themselves. If they're in secret, that's because that's something that they chose. They know there's something wrong with it. That's why they are in secret. If they didn't feel like there was anything wrong with it, then they would be out in the open. Like these fairies. They out in the open. You understand? They'll face the consequences, whatever. All right. So, in summary, the DL man is not just a black issue. It's a human issue rooted in shame, stigma, and fear. In the black communities, there's still a heavy stigma about being gay or bisexual. But a lot of that stigma is being broken down because of the music industry. Music industry, and Black people are heavily influenced by the music industry. So with these rappers coming out and saying, they're gay, whatever, then it makes Black men feel like, hey, that's the trend. Why not jump on that train? You understand? This secrecy is often reinforced by cultural expectations of masculinity, where being openly queer is seen as a weakness. Yeah. Yeah. It can be seen as a weakness, but it's also a choice. I believe it, it's a choice. Okay. The DL man, I find, is usually a man who has been influenced to go that way. Something has happened in his life to make him decide to sneak around with men. Maybe he was touched, most likely touched when he was a little boy. And so those memories and will haunt him, come back, calling him. You see, that's the evilness in it. Come back, do it again. And then, that evil spirit will send somebody to you to present it to you again. And if you go for it, well, then there you go. You understand? So I just wanted to let you know that the DL epidemic is running through all cultures, across all economic lines, all races. It doesn't matter. It's all over. It's an evil spirit that is sweeping the globe. Ladies, guard yourself. Don't be taken in by every man that you meet. Get to know him thoroughly before you give your heart away. I hope you understand the message today, and I really hope that it helps someone. Now, those of you who may have a question that you'd like for me to answer, my email address is in the description. And if you're looking for today's affirmation, the link is also in the description. I want to thank you so much for supporting this channel. Thank you for your comments and your letters. And a very special thank you to those that leave a donation. I really appreciate all of you. I wish you all the very best. And I really hope to see you next time.